Today we have one more young Indian with us in the Voice of the Young series. Hello everyone, good to be with you again. Today we have with us Samrudha Surana. He is in Pune. Over to you, Samrudha.
Thanks, both for having me, and thanks to my hello to all the viewers here. I'm a quick introduction about me. I'm Samrudha. As both mentioned, I'm in Pune. What I'm doing here is my master's in economics at the Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics. I'll just be beginning my second year as we are speaking in towards the end of July now, 2023. So Subodh has asked me to speak a little bit about my journey and how I've gotten here. I think that's a good place to start. So what I want to eventually do is become an economist and somebody who wants to make a better world through an understanding of economics. But how did I get there? I mean, why did I select economics as the place where I want to make a change, right? Where I thought I had a role. So that fascination grew when I was in school, in my high school. I was reading a newspaper about that had an article which said that India would now buy oil from Iran in rupees instead of dollars, and that's supposed to help the Indian economy. I couldn't for the life of me figure out why that's going to help. I thought, the currency doesn't matter because ultimately it would be the same price. So how does the currency make a difference? So that question was something that really made me fascinated and got me started in my journey of economics. The other inspiration was really Raghuram Rajan when he was the central bank governor here, and he seemed like a cool person, and he seemed like he was doing something cool. So this is where I could make if I wanted to do something cool, economics is a place I could be. And then I went on to do my bachelor's in economics, Bachelor of Arts in Economics at the St. Xavier's College in Mumbai, which was, I have ambivalent feelings about my experience there. It was certainly great in terms of the connections that I made, the friends that I made, the professors that I got to know. And that was really my first introduction to economics as a formal subject, which was an important moment for me. But I always had, I was dissatisfied with the kind of economics I was studying there, right? It seemed a little detached from the kind of questions I really wanted to answer, and the kind of questions I wanted to ask, really. I didn't think it was doing that. So in November 2019, I attended a program in public policy by the Center for Civil Society. It was called I-Policy for Young Leaders. And there I was introduced to something called the Austrian School of Economics and Public Choice Theory. Now, these two schools of thought, which is Austrian, the Austrian school and the Virginia school, which is in public choice, they had a fundamentally different way of approaching economics altogether, right? For them, it was not about building static models of demand and supply. It was more about looking at why does an individual make a decision to act in a particular way, right? What are the things that shape your decision? Not just in behavioral terms, but also how does one person making a decision and actually millions of individuals making decisions, how does that coordination happen in the world really, right? A fascinating story is that of a pencil. So Leonard Reed wrote an article in 1940s or 50s. It was called I Pencil. And he made the claim then that no single individual can make a pencil by themselves, right? And it's a fascinating idea. And economics tells you why one person can never make an entire pencil by themselves, right? There's so many tools and implements and other knowledge that's required to make a pencil. You can't do it as a single person.
No.
Yeah, and that's fascinating. So how is it that there are people across the world who are involved in making the pencil, but they don't know that their individual efforts are going to be used towards making the pencil? So how does that coordination happen in the world, right?
Yeah.
That was not explained by economics. It told you that globalization is good, people interacting with each other is good, but it never explained how that coordination happens.
Yeah.
for which Austrian economists gave an answer, and the answer was the price system, right? The price system gives you signals which you respond to, and that's how the coordination happens.
Right.
So that's where I really got fascinated by this Austrian School of Economics, and since then I have been working and studying to improve my understanding of it. So after my undergrad, I went on to work with Center for Civil Society. It's a think tank in New Delhi, and one of the projects I was managing was the Austrian Economics Seminar, which was a program that introduced young people, economists or from other disciplines, to this Austrian School of Economics. And most people who work in this area are not in India. They're very, very few. So I had the very great opportunity to work on that project and myself learn a lot. And I was also a part of Students for Liberty, which is a student organization which also, again, there are people who are interested in things like the Austrian School of Economics and other, Chicago School, and not just economics, really, all other fields who believe in trying to make a more freer world. So that has led me to where I am today, which is a person who wants to pursue a PhD in the field of Austrian economics and political economy related to that. And I'm also, I also had the opportunity to be selected for the Don Davoy Fellowship from the Marketers Center, which is one of the leading centers for the study of Austrian economics in the world. And right now I'm a Frederick Bastiat Fellow with them as a part of, alongside my master's program. So that's how, that's who I am.
That's in Washington, D.C.
What I want to do,
Yes, that it's from
in
George,
Virginia.
It's from George Mason. We call it Washington, D.C. It's just in our neighborhood. It's part of the big, it's like Delhi, but Gurgaon is not Delhi, but get Delhi.
DC area,
it's like that. Okay, so George Mason University.
Bilkul.
Yes, okay. So continue, please. So are you finding the Austrian economics at Gokhale?
Not really. It's not taught. It's actually not taught in any of the Indian universities that I know of. But interestingly, a couple of alumni from here, from Gokhale, have gone on to do work in Austrian economics. So there's Professor G.P. Manish, Professor Malvika Nair, who are both at Troy University in the US right now. And Kumar Anand, who was also introduced to the Austrian school here, and Professor Ashish Kulkarni, who teaches at Gokhale, and he was also introduced to the Austrian school here. But most of it just by their, through their own interests. Our library is amazing. It's brilliant. There are books that date back centuries. So a lot of people, if you just take the initiative to go and read the books in the library, it opens up a world to you.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that you're learning beyond the classroom. Classroom is a great place to learn, but really in college, especially if you are smart and hardworking, learning takes place outside the class. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
That was certainly true in our times, and I think it's true even now, that half of your learning or more than half is outside the classroom.
Right. But sometimes when I look at a couple of my peers, not just at my university, but other universities as well, I think that spirit of trying to find out things for yourself has gone down really.
Oh, it has.
As an average, but the people who are really interested, they go to great lengths because now we have the internet and the world is at our fingertips. So the people who want to go out and learn, they learn a great deal. But I think on an average, what happens is there has come to be a reliance on classroom teaching, which I think is really a great idea. It limits you to great extents.
Okay, so what else do you want to tell us?
Right. So one thing that I could talk about as well is how I view education.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that I find a lot of interest in talking about, and I think it might benefit some viewers here. Um, for me, it's not a pessimistic view, but I think it's a view that if you're an economist, you understand very well, and if you put it to use, you get it. Which is the fact that a lot of education today in higher universities level is just something we call signaling effect,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
is um, it's not that you learn a lot in the classrooms.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody knows that you don't learn a lot in the classrooms. The syllabus is outdated. You complain about it. The professors know, you know, as an individual.
Yeah.
People who want to hire you, they know that as well.
Yeah.
Right. So why does the system persist is a question. The reason it persists is because the point of higher education today has become not about learning to a great extent. It's that element it's not diminished. It's always there. But the system has become more about the signaling effect, which essentially is, why do your marks matter? Um, the fact that you've scored good marks tells two things to your employer. Either you're a smart person or you're a hardworking person, right?
Yeah.
So either you're smart enough to score great marks, or you're a hardworking person that maybe you weren't smart enough, uh, or maybe you are smart, but you also worked hard to get those marks, right?
Yeah.
And who are the people that employers really want? They want smart or hardworking people, right? So
Yeah.
that's what your grades tell you. It tells you that you're either smart or hardworking, and that's why you're hired.
Yeah.
So the point of education today has become more about this, which
Yeah.
is it tells the employers that you're smart or hardworking.
Yeah.
Now, what I would like is for us to figure out different ways to do it, right? People shouldn't be spending 2 years or 3 years in an undergrad or 4 years now and 2 years in a master's program just to to show somebody that, hey, I'm smart or hardworking, right? That shouldn't be the point of education or spending time in such places.
Yeah.
What that really does is, for the people who actually want to learn and are not here for just to get a degree out of it, it diminishes the effect for them.
Yeah.
um, because because the curriculum then gets designed in a different way. Instead of facilitating more classroom discussions, it becomes more about lectures from the professors.
Yeah.
So I think education really needs to head towards a place where it becomes less about signaling effect and more about what it's supposed to be about, which is learning. As I mentioned again, it's not that there is no learning happening today. It's just a lot less than I would like it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's a very good thought. Let me add my one thought to it. At least you are talking about the signal that you are smart and hardworking. Fine. But if you don't go to a top college, a top university, you go to an average university, then you are signaling that somehow you didn't make it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Somehow you didn't make it. And those places, those colleges, those universities are essentially holding places.
Right.
You are 18 years, 17, 18 years old. You really can't do a job because no employer thinks that you are mature enough. And they're just waiting for you to grow up. And
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do in the meantime? You say, oh, I am enrolled in this college where you are learning nothing at all. Teachers are lousy, the curriculum is outdated, and you are just wasting your time, right? And then it's a whole place, so that you don't go out on the streets and riot and break up things. Oh yeah, I'm in college. Okay, but what's the college for? Nothing. It's just
Nothing.
it's just a place to hold you in some form of fiction till you actually grow up, and then you become desperate and you take the first available job, whatever it
Yes.
is, right? So it's really, in many ways, you are talking about the futility of good colleges for higher education just also give it a little thought as to what is happening in Nanupur University. There's no town called Nanupur. I've just made it up.
Yeah, yeah.
In the BA section of Nanupur University, where the teacher's missing half the time, what are those students doing? What's the signal there? There's no signal. It is just
Right.
that you are wasting. You can't go to work because nobody will hire you. You just need to be in till you grow up a little bit and a little bit more mature, and you got your college degree, and it's worth nothing. Okay.
Right.
It's worth nothing.
Yeah, true. Which is why I think, companies should also be looking more at things like offering apprenticeships to people. So take them on early, take people on early. A lot of students are very willing to learn. And I think learning on the job is among the best ways to learn, right? Some of my best learning outcomes have actually happened at places where I've interned or jobs that I've done. The other thing is the benefit of jobs. One thing that a lot of people do not realize is it instills certain skills and behavior and culture into you, which you wouldn't get as a university student, right? So some things like how to be professional, how to write good emails, how to communicate with people, what it means to be punctual. Really, your university can set time for you that this is the time the lecture is supposed to begin. But those may still be low stakes. But when you're in a job, your stakes are higher.
Yeah.
So things like that, the kind of things, the little things that it teaches you, also navigating different people that exist, and just opening up the doors for you to opportunities. A lot of people don't realize this about jobs, that, something that they can do.
Yeah.
Education plays some role to that extent, but not as much with these skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think about that. Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's a good way to begin to think about it, because I think surely education in India needs a reboot. But if you read the new economic policy of 2020 of the Union, there's no reboots there. There's just minor tinkering at the edges, because they really cannot create the kind of revolutionary change that you are asking for. You are asking for revolutionary change in teaching, employment, and all. And no one has what should I say, that policy. Since you are in public policy, that policy is not there. And what you are seeing instead is that many people are opening variety of master's level courses.
Yes.
There can be a different style. I just talked to one MBA student who's in Delhi, and he said that our MBA curriculum is completely different.
Okay.
It doesn't follow any place at all. Right? It's just completely different. Okay. So at the master's level, there are people experimenting, because there are a smaller number of students to deal with. They can't deal with the masses of students,
Yes.
Change for them is hard, but change for those who are looking for a better experience is available at the master's level. There are people with innovative ideas, and they can actually do it and create some kind of, like Ashoka University has this Young India Fellowship.
Right.
You know about that, right? Young India Fellowship. Yeah, but that's after your BA, right? And you get teaching from so many different people. So yeah, there is some change happening at the master's level. Some possibilities. Right. But if you are talking about the average bachelor's curriculum, I agree with you that it's not going anywhere. It's not going
anywhere. One thing that right. So we talked about the system, about what that's shaped like and what it means for you as an individual. But what respite does then you as a student have when you are a part of the system, right? For me, and while entering into the master's program, I actually knew that learning is not what's going to be happening here a lot, right? I don't blame the faculty. I don't blame the university. It's wherever I would have been. This to some extent would have been the situation, right?
Yeah.
When you get great professors, you learn the best from them. But what do you do when some lecturers or some classes just don't pan out?
Yeah.
Right. I think as an individual, you should then optimize. And if you're an economist, you should know how to do that. For spending the least amount of time in the lectures,
Yes.
most amount of time outside lectures, just exploring the world and the opportunities it presents, right? Because right now, for instance, the kind of fellowships that I'm doing, there are other fellowships like that out there, which may pique your interest. And I really think that figuring out a way to do a part-time job, I don't just mean like an internship sort of a thing where you are made to do mindless tasks or something, would be the way to go. But some place where you really learn, right? They put you to some use. They will make you do grunt work because that's their incentive for taking you on. Because they will have to invest their time into you and training you and things like that. But to figure out ways you can really learn something, I think that's where your efforts should be optimized towards.
Okay.
Particularly with lectures that just don't work for you as a student.
All right.
That's for me, and I've spoken to a couple of professors also, and they support the view. They're like, yeah, that's absolutely how it should be for a student. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
So one thing that I would like to talk about also is the importance of why a person should support liberty or try to make the world a freer place, right? This has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with what's happening with the governments out there or anything, right? I think it's important because just the fact that we live in a freer world today as compared to India before 1990s, and just a great deal of parts of the world has opened up so many opportunities for us. There are people who don't have such opportunities. They don't have the freedom to, get to do what they want to do. But just not that. Even at your individual level, and you see other individuals and people around you, you will notice that there are some things that you aren't able to do because there's something holding you back. Sometimes it tends to be regulations from the state, which are holding you back. Sometimes it tends to be societal norms. Sometimes it tends to be just how the rules of the institutions are shaped, right? I think an individual really needs to care about liberty and trying to make a freer world.
Yeah.
Because we don't know for ourselves, we don't know what's the best choice for us, right? So there was this economist called James Buchanan, who was actually one of the founders of the public choice school. But some of his most best fundamental work is when he was looking at individuals and their choices, right? And he wrote a fantastic book called Cost and Choice. Okay.
Yeah.
And his central message in the book is, so what is cost for us as economists? It is opportunity cost, which is the act of the cost of doing something is what you're foregoing if you would have rather done something else, right? The next best option. Now, for Buchanan, this concept of opportunity cost was very subjective, right? Now, if I am picking action A, it means that I'm not picking action B or C or D.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I will never realize the benefit that I would have gotten if I had picked option B, C, or D.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because it was never, I didn't pick the option. How do I know what benefit I would have gotten from it? Right?
Okay.
So the opportunity cost of doing A is something that exists only when you are making the decision. after you've made the decision, there is no way to evaluate for yourself as an individual whether you've made the right decision.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So how does that translate into liberty? Right?
Yeah.
The whole fact is, if you don't know what the best thing for yourself is, how do you decide what the best is for somebody else?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of regulations or societal norms or things like that, this is what they hinder.
Yeah.
They don't allow you to figure out what is best for yourself as an individual. And I really think nobody else apart from you can know it. People
Okay.
can help you, people can help you guide you, people can help you learn, but you have to make that decision for yourself. So I think this is how I have come to learn the importance of liberty. And he had a great quote which I would like to share,
Sure.
which is, man wants liberty to become the man he wants to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you want to become a different version of yourself. There are
Yeah.
parts of yourself that you probably don't like, or
Yeah.
there are parts of yourself that you want to make better.
Yeah.
And that's why you want liberty, to become a better version of yourself.
Yes.
So I love that. I think that's the philosophy that I also live by,
Yeah.
which is every individual is trying to become a better person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And for that, what we need is liberty and freedom to discover and explore for ourselves what our best version is.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Let's end here. Let's see. We come back in 1 year and see where you are after you finished your masters, where your future is, and what you think about education and liberty. Let's hear from you in an update 1 year from now, and we'll see where you are. Okay, you are here today, and let's see how you evolve and where your thinking goes. Maybe it stays the same, maybe it changes. We'll find out. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's say
So
bye.
much for the
Let's say bye to the viewers now. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll be back with another expert or young person from some country soon. Till then, bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you and the viewers about myself. Yeah.
Okay, great.